waking up is really a discovery that you're a lot less than you thought you were. In fact, that everything that you thought you were isn't part of you at all. But even though losing that may seem to be a significant loss, it's just a matter of discarding the thing you need the least. And what's left uncovered, what's left revealed by the absence of the encumbrances, the extras, is the Christ. You in your actuality, you in your reality, you in your innocence, you in your purity that was never soiled, no matter what you thought. You in your inviolability that's incapable of being threatened. And you inseparable from the whole, outside of which there is nothing that could oppose you, because there is no outside to wholeness. Continue.
I thought I understood it until I saw you before you were baptized, that you were teaching, and so you were having less than the people that you were teaching?
Anyone who is truly teaching because they have the vision of God have less personality, have less ego, you might say. And they are giving to those who seem to still have a lot of ego, you see. So, by your standards, from your present frame of view, you can understand that one who is standing with God has more than you have, more that matters, but really has less than you have, because he or she is not encumbered by the ego beliefs and structures and concepts and mutual agreements and laws that are used to see that the commitment to those agreements are held to, you see? Okay.
Miracles are a kind of exchange.
Why do you think that is?
Give me a minute.
Anyone else either?
Old ideas for new.
You said exchanging old ideas for new?
It's just the way that it works. Joining. Thank you.
Indeed. Love is always an involvement. Love is always the recognition of the reality of another, a brother, a sister, a tree, a dog, a cat, a bird. It's an exchange because there's a recognition of what is real in each other, you see? It can't happen in a vacuum. You can't be the presence of love all by yourself. A miracle cannot occur without involvement. How can love find expression if there is no object of your affection? So miracles are a kind of exchange. A kind of exchange? Yes. It's a kind of exchange because it's not really an exchange at all. It's really a recognition of oneness. You recognize yourself in your brother.
And that's what when we're in touch with our guidance, that's the communion, that's the oneness.
That's right.
And that's what we're to do with each other, is find the oneness. And we do. And we know when we're right on the beam with each other.
That's right.
And it's a good thing.
Continue.
Like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses the physical laws because it's spirit. They bring more love both to the giver and the receiver.
They bring more love both to the giver and the receiver. It reverses what you would call physical laws because in the giving away, the giver doesn't lose.
You benefited when your friend Lazarus was raised from the dead. Lazarus benefited. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
That's correct. That's correct.
You
will
were
sometimes
missing him? Were you missing Lazarus?
Just a moment. You will sometimes hear it said that someone who is a psychic or who has a spiritual gift, if they make the gift, it will shorten their human life. You see, it takes it takes something which is expressing oneness and unity and blessing, and saying that in making that gift, it depletes the giver. You see, and it doesn't. And it is very important to see this. All miracles mean life, not its opposite, a form of which would be called depletion. That opposes the nature of physical law, which is that if Paul gives you $1, you are $1 richer and he is $1 poorer. If he gives you his car, you now have the car and he doesn't. You see. Now, what were you going to say?
You were obviously moved by the Father to connect your love. You said your love was all it took to raise Lazarus, but that wasn't coming from any sense of lack in you, like you missed your friend?
No. Remember I said it was my love for God and my love for Lazarus. My love for God, my attentiveness was to God first. That provided me with his vision. And his vision was an experience of the fact that Lazarus was not dead. And that realization couldn't help but be extended to Lazarus, as he appeared to be to everyone else, because that's what the knowing was about. That's who the knowing or the clarity was about. And so it wasn't because I missed him, it was because in not having any other perspective than the Father's, there was nothing else for me to see or experience but Lazarus's uninterrupted life, which blessed him because he was not at a point of gathering his vision about himself from his Father. So my clear vision provided the environment in which Lazarus could recognize the truth about himself as well. So that Lazarus came forth. I did not have to go in there and bring him out, which I could have done. I could have helped him further in the realization by going in and bringing him out. But he recognized my vision of him, and he came forth even though he was still wrapped up. It did not inhibit him from moving out, behaving or being in a way inconsistent with being dead, you see. Missing someone states an already existing attitude or sense of loss. And there's no way there could be a miracle from a sense of loss. That's why whenever you are wanting to be a healing presence for another, you cannot start with the way they appear to be at the moment. Because if you do that, you're lost yourself. Or your loss is established for you. So no, never agree with the appearance, and never agree with what a brother or a sister says to you about their condition. You go to God. What is the truth here? And as well as listening for words, all of you, I encourage you to be open to an experience of the truth about them.
Yes, I want. This is so amazing.
Wait a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it okay to?
Yeah, but
Sorry.
Close that window there.
sure.
I can see how the thread is weaving into everything with gift. And I was contemplating on what Raj said at the Leiston Abbey, which I mentioned to Paul earlier today, about the purpose of sex, which was to identify the other's wholeness to them. And it occurred to me that every interaction that we have, to expand on that, is to identify the other's wholeness to them. And that, if that be the case, then there is nothing lacking in that moment between us. And it said here that we temporarily give to those who temporarily have less, those who temporarily have more, but the established bond or the established realization is that we have it. We're coming from a place of having, not a place of not having. Anyway, I mean, I can see how this is really bringing all this. I mean, it's not just in a certain situation, it applies to everything. When we interact with each other, we are there to identify the other's wholeness. Now, that's not money, marbles, everything, from what I'm getting from this.
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
And it's really thrilling because what it does is it establishes trust, a deep knowing, a joy, safety. If I give, I know that I have and that you have, and there's no loss or there's no maneuvering for a position. Am I going to get a deal, or I'm going to have an advantage over you? I mean, all that is gone.
Of course.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Yes. That, of course, will throw a great monkey wrench in business. We won't go there today. Next.
The use of miracles as spectacles to induce belief is a misunderstanding of their purpose.
Yes. You see, belief isn't what's wanted anyway. You are suffering from beliefs. You believe it's just the world. You believe you are immortal. You believe that physical bodies ultimately decay and die. These are all beliefs which you frighten or comfort yourselves with. But all of your beliefs are what are distracting you from the experience of reality, from the experience of what you really are and what your brother or sister really is. So, I'm not going around rendering great miracles to get you to believe something, because that's shifting one belief for another belief. Belief is irrelevant. Experience is relevant. And experience comes when you manage to one degree or another to set your beliefs aside. And it's an inside job.
So that's why you didn't just keep raising the dead.
Microphone.
I was just thinking when you were talking earlier, but you didn't keep raising more and more dead. You raised Lazarus, or that happened, and that was enough. It didn't need to keep happening. Like you were trying to prove
there
something.
were a couple of other indications. I mean, a couple of other situations where I did. But
not
mind you,
dramatically.
it wasn't for
Proof.
it wasn't for the purpose of raising the dead. It was always for the purpose of glorifying God. It was always for the purpose of, I will say, impressing others with an awareness of God, not my capacity to perform miracles. Always it was to inspire the clearer consciousness of the actuality of God. Because only that could change the lives of the observers, you see. Okay.
prayer is the medium of miracles. It is the means of communication of the created with the Creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed.
There you go. Prayer is not asking something of God, but opening up to God so that you might be filled with whatever He would reveal to you. Prayer, as I've said before, is really a matter of saying yes to God, not making demands of God. And when you say help, when you reach out to God, when you temporarily abandon self-reliance, when you abandon relying upon the self you think you are, and you say help to God, you are saying, you are welcome in here, God. You are welcome to come into me. I am saying yes to you, not yes to what I want from you. I am saying yes to you. And the shift of awareness, the shift of consciousness occurs, and your experience and perception of the situation or your brother or sister changes, and healing transpires. Love is expressed. Love is impulsed by your recognition of the truth of your brother. So your receipt of what the Father gives that causes the shift of perception causes a spontaneous impulse of love from you to your brother in the clear acknowledgement of the truth about him that has just been revealed to you. You see, that's what it means.
Miracles are thoughts. Thoughts can represent the lower or bodily level of experience or the higher or spiritual level of experience. One makes the physical and the other creates the spiritual.
Thoughts can represent the beliefs and concepts associated with the mutually agreed upon definitions that all of you have committed yourselves to. And it makes the kingdom of heaven look like nothing more than the world. When, on the other hand, you abandon the mutually agreed upon definitions and you relinquish your commitment or manage somehow to weaken your commitment to it by reaching out beyond it, I'm going to say it apparently creates the spiritual. In actuality, it reveals the kingdom of heaven that has always been there. It uncovers and reveals the spiritual. I want you to be clear on that, because this is not meant to imply that you are going to acquire a capacity to create. That is very appealing to your ego, which you are not free of at the moment. and we do not want to reinforce your ego. Continue.
Miracles are both beginnings and endings, and so they alter the temporal order. They are always affirmations of rebirth, which seem to go back but really go forward. They undo the past in the present and thus release the future.
That might seem complicated, but it is simplified in the last sentence. They undo the past in the present and thus release the future. And what that means is it releases the future from the framework of your mutually agreed upon definitions that you otherwise would have held the future to. Beginnings and endings, in the same sense that for every door that closes a door, it's the ending of a belief and the beginning of clarity. It's the ending of being subject to the distress of being out of your mind and the pleasure of experiencing your sanity, you see. So it's about beginnings and endings. Endings of things that weren't real and beginnings of things that always have been real, but which you had been ignoring. And so the beginnings are really a return to what you knew before you joined in this exciting experience of mutually agreed upon definitions and the distortions of the kingdom of heaven that they subjected you to. Continue.
Miracles bear witness to truth.
Stop there. Wow. That means they're meaningful. Miracles bear witness to truth. You see, Lazarus came forth. The truth that it bore witness to was that life is deathless, but the most significant truth of all was that it demonstrated to those there that there really is a God, because these people knew me like you know each other, and they did not have the belief that I, like them, had a capacity to raise the dead. They knew it wasn't a talent I had, because I was just like them. Lazarus and his sisters were lifelong friends. We grew up together. So, the miracle points to something bigger. They bear witness to the truth. Continue.
They are convincing because they arise from conviction.
And how is conviction arrived at? It's arrived at by having set aside any personal capacity